The January 16 gas explosion in Magodo, Lagos, reawakened several other incidents that have happened across the country. We examine this with the hope of learning a lesson or two from the experience. Stay with us.
World population figure is estimated at 7.6 billion people, and according to the United Nations, this will increase to over 11 billion by the year 2100. The import of this is that as man goes about attempting to satisfy his basic needs, the natural environment such as our forest will continue to pay for it. When trees are felled without simultaneous replanting, deforestation occurs, a phenomenon that is rampant in Nigeria today. Various statistics show that Nigeria between 2000 and 2005 had the largest deforestation rate in the world, losing 55.7% of its primary forest. This is usually as a result of several factors, one of which is man's need to obtain energy to heat up homes or for cooking. Cooking with firewood does not just deplete our forest, as demand for it trumps its ability to regenerate. It also contributes to the pollution of the atmosphere.
Within the cities, we have quite a lot of problems because of a lot of complex environment. Emission of gases, trucks emitting, methane gas outside, depleting oxygen, and you see the environment, these fumes, the dark dust all over the place. So there is need for us to manage our environment.
To tackle this daunting environmental challenge, most developed and developing countries have resorted to the use of liquefied petroleum gas LPG because it is cheaper with less emission. LPG has higher heating value, burns consistently, and does not contain sulfur, which makes it burn a lot cleaner than most other sources of energy.
LPG has been in use as a domestic fuel for literally over 100 years. So it's a very stable fuel, it's a very safe fuel, and it's just one where continuing education is necessary to let people know how to use the fuel safely.
In spite of these numerous advantages, LPG penetration in Nigeria is a lot lower compared to countries like Senegal, which currently enjoys over 90% penetration. This, according to energy experts, can be flipped around for our good.
The impact of moving 1%, not to talk of 50%, is deforestation reducing at a rapid rate, gas flares being eliminated, and what's the implication of that? Good health being promoted. When people are not inhaling contaminants, they tend to live longer. People who live longer work longer. They pay more taxes. Taxes lead to an increased lifestyle for everybody. So there's a multiplier benefit to LPG being utilized at a higher rate in Nigeria.
In recent times, several deaths and loss of property running into billions of naira have been reported from fire outbreaks related to LPG, such as the Ogudu gas explosion of September 18, 2017. The victim was said to have opened the valve of the gas burner, lit a match, and the gas exploded and slightly injured her. On the 28th of November 2017, a gas cylinder explosion occurred in Opokiri, Imo State during installation of the gas cylinder, killing 4 people. The 15th of December 2017 saw a lady reportedly dying in a gas explosion in Oshogbo, Osun State, after her phone ran close to a gas cylinder. And then, on the 15th of January 2018, twin gas explosions rocked Lagos, one in Badagry where 4 people allegedly died, and the other in Magodo. This has heightened fears on how safe users are around LPG, and also a call for relevant authorities to champion specific and impactful action to mitigate incidents and accidents related to LPG.
If you look at even African communities like Senegal, in urban Dakar, you have 99% penetration of LPG, or certainly in the high 90s. So, I mean, that's indicative that people at a very high percentage could learn to use LPG safely. It's not a very difficult concept. Like it was also referred to earlier, you know, what causes a fire? Fuel, oxygen, a spark. People understand that basically. With our fuel, it's odorized. People need to recognize the smell of gas. If they're taught how to recognize the smell of gas, we can make sniff paper for them to recognize that smell. And once that happens, they know they're moving towards a dangerous situation. They can take the proper action, which is to vent the area, cut off supply of fuel before striking a match or something like that. So yes, I do agree that everybody can learn how to use LPG.
The Nigerian Liquefied Petroleum Gas Association says they're up in their game in this regard.
We don't even want a single more accident to happen. And how do you do that? How do you achieve that? Is by way of enforcing regulatory guidelines and practices. All right? The association, in partnership with the regulatory authorities of government, has been working very hard to improve enforcement. And with what has happened now, we can only just step up our game. In the last few months, for example, with Standards Organization of Nigeria and with the DPR, there has been a better collaboration on how to enforce business practices, all right, at filling plants or at retail sales points or outlets. But we have to just speed it up now. Whatever program we have been working on, we have to accelerate the program and see that the general public begins to feel the impact of the collaboration that the government and association has been working together on.
The issue is not about the fuel. The issue is that any fuel can be dangerous. It is the use and the handling of the fuel that matters, proper use and handling of the fuel. If you misuse gasoline, it will lead to accidents. We've seen enough times where tankers have gone, have toppled over and people are burnt in an inferno and so on. So it's not about the fuel. The fuel itself has just recently celebrated 100 years or more of active use in domestic applications and industrial applications. The issue is how to use it safely or how to handle it safely.
No doubt, every link of the value chain must be factored into this enlightenment drive to guard against avoidable deaths and losses from gas explosion.
It's not just in terms of the use. By the time you are using, somebody has installed, for example, you need first of all to understand what the best practice is for installation, what the correct type of installation is for your location before we even get to use. So, for example, anybody at the moment will come to you and say that they are a gas installer, and they will install your cooker for you, they will install your hoses for you, they will install the cylinder. Where have they placed the cylinder? Is it in a well-ventilated location? Those things, they're very simple things to look out for. So they're not they're not rocket science. But we have a lot of organizations actually at the moment pushing that. There's Africa, there are a few other organizations that are assisting newcomers to gas in terms of how to use gas safely. They alluded earlier to the Lagos State scheme where they injected cylinders. Before cylinders were handed over to people, how you use it, how you start, you light your match first, for example, before you even release gas. Those are very simple steps in being able to control gas. If you test the gas, you can't smell it, then that is another identifier for you that it may not be the right mix. It's supposed to be odorized. So if you do not smell gas itself has no smell. They add this odor to alert you as an early warning system. If you test it and you don't smell it, then you really do need to return it. So there a number of simple steps that we have already put out in training programs. Lagos State has put out, LCCI has put out, the Gas Safety Initiative has pushed out. Many people have done their bit, but we just need to increase the awareness on this side.
While LPG for many remains the future of cleaner and safer cooking, it is advisable to check for leakage before you strike that match.
Don't forget, you can always be part of Eyewitness Report by recording those moments you want us to talk about with your camera and then send to our Eyewitness portal. But first, ensure you download the Channels TV app if you don't have already. Launch and swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu. There are sets of instructions to follow on how to upload your story. It's that easy. We welcome all those positive stories as well as innovations, self-help and communal efforts at infrastructural development and much more. One more thing, always add location and a form of contact such as phone numbers or email so we can get in touch with you and follow up on your story. Now let's see what you already uploaded for the week.
Let's begin with this video showing a teacher beating students from Government Science Secondary School in Nasarawa State mercilessly. Eyewitness reporter says corporal punishment has been banned in all local governments across the state and wonders why principals and teachers still practice the act. She believes the Ministry of Education should intervene to prevent other students from suffering from such beatings. Next is this picture from Bayo Oshinowa Street in Ogudu, Ojota area of Lagos State, showing a shanty. Our Eyewitness reporter says the residents who claim to have been living there for about 12 years are now being chased out by the government. He criticizes the act, saying that it is one that will leave many families homeless. Here's this one from Orile area of Lagos, showing heaps of dirt along the road. Our Eyewitness reporter says illicit refuse dumping is fast becoming a norm in the state and wants the government to do something about it. Finally is this picture from Aguoka, close to the government house in Anambra State, showing this road, which our Eyewitness reporter alleges has been abandoned for more than 3 years. He laments the trouble residents go through plying it, especially during rainy season. He calls for urgent help.
Those are your shots. Do keep them coming. You may also want to visit our YouTube and other social media pages to view previous editions or hint us on development of stories already treated on this platform. Thank you for staying tuned. Till next week, I'm Chris Alams, and I'll keep my eyes on you. Bye-bye.